Christian, it's not like you get over that hump and you go, "Oh, I'm fine, smooth sailing." No, there's challenges every day in baseball.
Go get me some knowledge.
Who do you credit the most for developing you before you finally made it to the majors?
Um, kind of funny. It's funny how you're put in positions that just you look back and you go, "Man, it was like perfect dominoes. Everything was perfect." My first 3 catching instructors, I had, Roy Campanella, who's also from Philadelphia, so we bonded. Johnny Roseborough, who's probably the toughest human being I've ever met in my life, and Doug Crandall, who's really ahead of the game as far as the mental part of catching and what you need to do. So those 3 guys really set the foundation for what I needed to do to be a professional catcher. But I was lucky in high school, I played for a guy named, Harry Ace Bell, who had played minor leagues with the Giants. He actually played with Willie Mays in 1950 in Trenton. He had an advanced understanding of what was going to happen and what I needed, and, he helped to get me pushed along.
I think it was 4 or 5 years in the minors. I'm close to it,
Half.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How difficult was that journey? How many times did you sit there and say, "Man, I don't got it"? And how did you pick yourself up? Because I'm assuming it wasn't just real smooth, but I
No,
don't know. That's why I'm curious.
it was not smooth. So I go to Walla Walla, Washington, get off the flight, get on the field, play my first game, and I look around and I go, "I am the worst person on this field." Well, not just my team, the other team. I am the worst person on this field. And I'm thinking like, "What am I doing? What am I doing signing?" And came out the next day and the next day, and you start to get a little confidence as a hit falls in here and there, and then by the end of the year, I made the all-star team, and, by the end of the year, you're like, you feel like you belong. I was also the youngest kid in the league too, but you don't realize that when you're playing. So, definitely times and it's continuous. It's not like, Christian, it's not like you get over that hump and you go, "Oh, I'm fine, smooth sailing." No, there's challenges every day in baseball. You're playing the game every day. Every year there's a new draft, so they're getting more and more players in your position that want to get on the same, you want to get to the same goal you do. So there's a definitely a priority to perform, and you have to play well. So as you get to Double A, you're in that bottleneck. Players are getting filtered out. Pitching gets tougher. Triple A, you're facing a lot of guys that were in the major leagues and came down too. And then obviously the major leagues is the biggest challenge. So you never it's kind of funny. You never take your foot off that gas. You're going hard all the time. You have to understand that it's a game of failure. You have to understand how to take the frustrations and just let them roll off your back and get ready for the next at bat and the next game. And that takes some time.
Is that just as tough to teach and develop as actually fielding, hitting, base running?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. The mental part of what we do in baseball is really, the cornerstone of letting your athletic ability play on the field. So, I mean, you see it I think you see it everywhere, you just tell guys, "Look, get out of your head. Will you just go play?" In every sport, there's issues that come up with players, but particularly in baseball because it's so sensitive as far as hitting. Hitting is very difficult, and it's a tough thing to coach, and it's a tough thing for obviously for players to do. So uh, you you have to have that mentality of understanding that you can play, uh, acquire the confidence through through success, and understand that I'm good. I can do this. But it takes experience, it takes seasoning. That's why it's tough for you see some of the young kids that come up early when they're 19 years old and they have a lot of, they have that confidence, but their confidence, it doesn't necessarily translate into what they need to do on the field. And they take a step back and then they come and they understand what the challenge is. So the mental part of baseball is critical too if you want to be a successful player.
So I would add this based on position. You tell me, by nature of playing catcher, are you automatically thrust into a role of leadership?
Uh, you are, and some guys handle it differently. Some guys more by example. Some guys are more vocal. Absolutely no doubt. You know, they call it a battery for a reason, a pitcher catcher. You guys have to work as a team there. You guys have to, you guys have to be on the same sync, on the same way in sync, in the same wavelength. And that takes a lot of time and a lot of work. It takes a lot of communication. It takes a lot of challenging each other on, why do you feel this way and what should I do? You do it differently with every pitcher. I mean, you talk to Fernando Valenzuela and you catch him, and then you talk to Earl Hershiser, two different pitchers as far as how they went about, how they went about with their game plan. And you had to be in tune with it and understand it so you could help them with whatever adjustments you needed. So that leadership takes a lot of different, I guess, takes a lot of different looks, and you just have to absorb, put your arms around it, and embrace it, and move on.